finance and economics.
Free exchange. The fading motherhood penalty.
The fading
A new
motherhood.
paper suggests that having children might help women's pay,
New
not
paper,
hurt it.
new paper suggests that having babies might not hurt women's pay.
Returning from his paternity leave last week,
Returning from his paternity leave last week,
your columnist was keen to get writing.
your columnist was keen to get writing.
After all, numerous studies say parents' careers can suffer after they have children.
After all, numerous studies say that parents can suffer after returning.
Best to immediately dispel any notion that his might do so.
Best to immediately dispel any notion that his might do so.
But then he remembered that he is a man and went to get a coffee.
But then he remembered that he is a man and went to get a coffee.
For the child penalty, as the career hit is known by economists,
For the child penalty as
is commonly believed
the as the career hit is known by economists,
to affect mothers alone.
is commonly believed to affect the mothers alone.
In fact, it might be that women returning to work after childbirth
In fact, it might be that women returning from work
can afford
returning to work after childbirth
to relax too.
can afford to relax too.
It is true that their immediate earnings are likely to fall,
It is true that their immediate earnings are likely to fall,
and perhaps infuriating that those of new fathers are not.
and perhaps infuriating that those of new fathers are not.
Yet two new studies suggest that in the long run,
Yet two new studies suggest that in the long run,
compared with women who do not have children,
compared with women who do not have
the
children,
motherhood penalty may vanish or even turn into a premium.
the motherhood penalty may vanish or even turn into a premium.
The disparity between men and women who have children is well known.
The disparity between men and women having children is well known.
In a widely cited paper from 2019,
In a widely cited paper from 2019,
Henrik Cleven of Princeton University, with co-authors,
Henrik Clever of Princeton University and his co-authors
charted the careers of Danish parents after their first child was born.
charted the careers of his firstborn after the careers of Danish parents after their first child was born.
Mothers' pay and working hours plunged by a third and a fifth respectively,
Mother's pay and working hours plunged after working by a third and a fifth respectively
in the first year after childbirth.
in the first year after childbirth.
Fathers' careers continued roughly as before.
Father's career continued roughly as before.
The same study found that mothers' careers do not recover.
The same study found that mothers did not recover.
After 10 years, the hit to Danish mothers' incomes
After 10 years, the hit to Danish mothers' incomes
was still 20 percentage points bigger than that to fathers,
was still 20 percentage points bigger than that of fathers,
with larger gaps between those with more children.
with larger gaps between those with more children.
This was down to women with children either leaving the labour market
This was either down to This was down to women with children, either leaving the labor market,
working fewer hours, or earning a lower hourly wage.
working fewer hours, or earning a lower hourly wage.
The paper's authors have repeated the exercise for 134 countries.
The paper's authors have repeated 135 countries
with strikingly similar results. But the difficulty in divining the effect of children is that the stork does not drop babies randomly. To get round this, the Danish paper was based on an event study.
The Danish study was based on an event study.
This supposes mothers' incomes develop along a smooth trend until they give birth.
This supposes that mothers' incomes develop along a smooth trend until they give birth,
which causes the trend to break. After the break, each mother's pay is compared with the trend. Continued by other women in the sample who give birth later. And the drop is assumed to be the effect of the child. The same calculation is then carried out for fathers.